good look at the campus here at Gonzaga. There's a good look inside. It's hard to believe that another college basketball season is here, but indeed it is, gentlemen. Greg Heister, Dan Dickau, Richard Fox, and you guys played here. The fans don't seem to be taking anything for granted over these years, do they?
Not at all. They don't care who they're playing against. They just want to come watch their Zags get after it, and especially get the season started off on the right foot, which I'm sure they're going to tonight.
And, Richard, they're playing Northwest Nazarene. Obviously, this isn't a team that should test Gonzaga at all, although we've seen some crazy things in our years around the game.
Yeah.
But what is it that you hope to get out of a contest like this?
Well, I think for GU, you got some new faces, but like every year we seem to talk about roles change, and we'll get into that as the game progresses, but we start to try to define those roles and see how certain guys fit together, because it's one thing to practice against each other, but it's another thing entirely to play against an opponent. So the coaching staff gets to play a little bit with their lineups and different personnel, but really, as a player, it's all about finally being able to play against somebody other than your teammate, and that's really exciting.
And it's almost cliche. We hear that every year, right? But it's true, right? It's nice to be banging against somebody that you don't know.
It's completely true. You take a look at these guys. They've been banging against each other for the past 3 weeks in practice. They're ready to go after somebody else, whether it's guards picking up full court, getting in the passing lane, or bigs just shoving somebody else out of the way. They're ready to look at somebody else and take the challenge on against somebody else.
They're ranked 21 and 22 in the two respective polls around the country, gentlemen. Is it a good ranking at this point?
Yeah, absolutely.
You think this is a top 20 team?
Absolutely.
And I think it's better than that, Richard.
I think this team is made up, in my opinion, just on paper. This is a team that wouldn't surprise me ended up top 10 in the country. This is a good bunch. We'll get into the personnel and how guys have improved, but top to bottom, there's great depth. The inside players, Tamir, as strong as they've ever been here in this program, and obviously anytime you can bring back some guards like they have, they got a chance.
Here's your Numerica Credit Union starting lineups. First for Northwest Nazarene, Molinan, Nichols, Jones, Hawkins, and Karimsky. The starting five. The head coach is Dave Daniels. What an opportunity it is for a program like this. I know you know Coach Daniels. We'll talk about that in a moment. The Numerica Credit Union starting lineups for Gonzaga. You've got Dower, Bell, Guy Landry, Eddy, Harris, and Pangos on the floor. An opening possession controlled by the Crusaders. And then they get an over and back call. Explain that one to me, gentlemen.
I don't agree with that call right off the bat, first play of the year, but, Gonzaga will take it. Northwest Nazarene, Jones did not have control of the possession. That was odd.
It's not only the players' exhibition, it's ours, it's the officials.
Here's Pangos with it, and we've got our first foul in the game. This will be on Michael Karimsky, the sophomore from the Czech Republic inside. He's 7 feet, 240 pounds. Coach Daniels wants as much size as he can find over there on the bench in the game.
They started 6 out of their 26 games last year. Nice player, young. He's going to get a workout tonight against this front line for GU.
Here's Bell. Drive with the left hand, hangs and hits.
I'll tell you what, Dan, he's got to be more aggressive this year. He shot the ball so well last year, but in only 5 games did he get up more than 10 shots. I think this year you'll see a much more aggressive, assertive Gary Bell on the offensive end.
Dan, did you ever play with a guy like Bell at Gonzaga? He's a unique guard, isn't he?
He is. I think you could take a look at Pangos and Gary Bell's backcourt and kind of compare them in a way to Blake Stepanite. Kind of interchangeable parts. You take a look at this highlight right here with Gary. One of the things that's going to give him a very successful season is that mid-range game right there. That little floater is a very important shot for him this season.
And he averaged 47.7% from behind the arc a year ago as a freshman. I know you were over 45 your junior and senior years, but 47.7?
And in league play, bumped it up to almost 53%. He just got better and better as the year went on, a lot like Devin Pangos did as well.
But can you shoot it better than that? I mean, are the expectations that he shoots it at 50?
Well, the expectation should be that he doesn't drop much lower than that. I mean, anything in the mid-40s from the three-point line is a great number. The thing that you want to see is him finding other ways to get his shot from the three-point line rather than just spot-ups.
That foul called on Keith Molinan, his first team's third. 18:54. We're just underway at the McCarthy Athletic Center in Spokane. Gonzaga and Northwest Nazarene. Sam Dower baseline shot is short. And rebound, and back comes the Crusaders. Kenny Jones, number 20, to the baseline, rebounded. And then the block. Again, the block. Kevin Rima trying to go strong, doing everything he can, but Gonzaga is big.
Big, and you saw both Harris and Dower contesting the shot. Well, Elias, we talked about the top 25 blocks last year, only 28 on this over his first 2 years here at GU, and Dower only 10 last year. For a guy with the length that he has and the size, he needs to be a better defender, and that's something that the coaching staff has emphasized.
There's Rima, and he hits from the baseline. Good-looking play there. What do you know about Coach Daniels there?
Well, he was a heck of a player before he got into coaching at the college ranks. He played in the 2000 Olympics with Team Canada as Steve Nash's backup. I got to know him about 10, 12 years ago. Very, very high-level player, very high-character guy, and he's really enjoying his time at Northwest Nazarene now. This is his second year. He's really enjoying it, thinks they've got a chance to do some good things at that level.
Wow. Dan Dickow going deep. It's a good effort by you out of the get-go.
Well, it's really funny how the basketball world is so small. We've got a lot of the same similar friends that we're with Athletes in Action basketball in different places across the world.
Pangos right down the middle strong, and he'll shoot free throws.
I like seeing that right there from Kevin Pangos. Push the tempo, get the defense on their heels. Defense doesn't commit, get all the way to the basket, create that contact, get yourself to the free throw line. That's another way this season that he can expand his game and really improve.
You brought up Dickow and Step a moment ago. Mark Few has to get just giddy when he thinks about Bell and Pangos together.
Well, not only is each one talented in their own right, but they fit.
And they're young.
Yeah, they're young. And the freshman-sophomore jump's usually one of the bigger jumps you have in college, but their games fit. They play so well together. It's one thing to have two good guards, but the fact that they play so well together, I think, is a real advantage.
Pangos had a tremendous freshman year in Gonzaga. Hard to beat it.
When you look at Kevin, his all-time freshman leading scorer at Gonzaga with 450 points, beating Adam Morrison's record, but then Gary Bell comes in third with 342. So two backcourt players that got a ton of experience their freshman year, looking to build upon that this year.
4 fouls, 4 turnovers now for the Crusaders. And it's a 3-2 GU lead. There's Bell. Landrietti with a spin. He'll try to finish and does. Nice move. He's got broad shoulders, gentlemen.
Yeah, that's an area where I think the coaching staff believes he can get better offensively. Last year, had to sit out the first 10 games. Struggled on that end of the floor. He's gotten a lot better over the summer on the offensive end.
There's a little step-back shot, and good by Kenny Jones. The one thing I'm noticing about Northwest Nazarene already is that they run a lot of offensive sets, and they look good doing it.
Well, one thing Coach Daniels said before the game is he really wanted to get up and down the floor, which you're seeing right there on that possession. They're going to play 4 guards at times. They're going to shoot the 3, but they're really going to try to get up and down the floor.
Here's Harris running the floor. He can't finish. Rima with the rebound.
Well, you notice how fast GU's playing. Nazarene is playing quick as well. But that's something the staff has emphasized. Let's get up and down, and let's make quick decisions in the half court.
That's a tough shot there by Hawkins. There's Bell. Runs right into Rima, and a block is called. That'll be foul number 5 on the Crusaders. A lot of new faces about to come into the game now, gentlemen, for GU. Of course, David Stockton, already now a junior.
Hard to believe.
You're getting old.
I was going to say,
that's what that means.
He's not getting old. I'm getting old. I remember he was a freshman in high school.
Mike Hart, Kyle Dranginas, Shemek Karnowski, and who else did Drew Barham, the transfer from the University of Memphis. Young man already with his undergraduate degree.
Smart kid has fit in easily with the program and the rest of the players, and they really like what he brings to the table. He searches out shots from that perimeter, and he's got some good size, about 6'6", 6'7".
Well, he can find a nice niche for himself on this team, because if you look at the other three men on this team, Mike Hart, Guy Landry-Eddy, Drew obviously shoots the ball much more consistently from the perimeter than those guys do. So if he can really come in and knock down shots, he's going to find himself some good minutes this year.
Bell missing the free throw. That possession's going to stay with Gonzaga as Bell goes out of the game. And Kyle Dranginis, the redshirt freshman from Nampa, Idaho, checking in. And I know Coach Few really likes him too. Another good young guard.
Yeah.
There's Stockton from the bench. Missed the shot. And David with possession again. Shemek. Karnowski working hard inside. Stockton missed the shot. Karnowski missed the putback. And this is Kenny Jones. That's offensive, right? Yes.
And that's what Mike Hart does right there. And that's why he played big minutes last year. That's why he's always going to have a chance to play big minutes this year, is because he does those little things. Step in front, take the charge, give your team extra possessions. That is so underrated in the game of basketball.
Gonzaga up 7-4 early in Spokane. Welcome back. Time now for tonight's Keys to the Game, brought to you by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. Gentlemen. Dan, what do you think? Keys to the game. Not just the game, but we're looking at the season. These are keys to a successful season for Gonzaga.
You know, I think one thing Gonzaga has to do for this season to be a deep NCAA tournament run is find the go-to guy. Push comes to shove, who's going to take that big shot?
For me, I look at replacing Zachry's toughness. I think Shemek and that front line can replace his game to a certain degree, but that toughness he had around the basket on both ends is a void that needs to be filled.
And no doubt about it, Rob Zachary, the leader of this program a year ago. Kevin Pango says he wants that role this year. We'll see how that evolves. Stockton with it, back out on offense now for Gonzaga. First shot attempt for Mr. Barham is off. And back come the Crusaders.
See David Stockton really picking up the defensive pressure. That's something he's worked really hard on over the course of the summer, getting ready for that.
There's Dranginis. The transition three. As Hart with a nice catch. Missed the shot, but the transition three, Dan, back in your day was huge at Gonzaga. You and Step got that going. It didn't matter who was running the point. Somebody was shooting it in transition.
No, that's the great thing about being a point guard in this program that can shoot the ball. Coach Few is going to give you the green light to do it. And you can definitely say that Blake Stepp and I took advantage of that. So I look for Kevin to be able to have that this year. David will work his way into that at times.
And again, this is a team, and I heard Coach Few say it at practice last week. He wants this team to play really fast. He's wanted all of his teams to play really fast. I get that. But this one, it's obvious he thinks he's got the pieces to do that.
I think he likes his depth. He's got good athletes. And then even in the half court, he wants quick decisions. He wants the ball to be swung, the ball to move.
Jones with the miss. Stockton with his head up. Dranginis can't reel it in. Turnover.
You know, that's one of those hit or miss plays. David can really get those in there a lot of times, but he's got to be successful this year, he's got to figure out when is the right time to throw that pass.
Here's Jones. Lost the handle. Picked up by Stockton. He's got Karnowski with him. Throw it up to him. And Shemek Karnowski will shoot free throws.
You know, that's a great play on both ends. He showed hard, heads out on the ball screen, got his hand on the ball, causes a turnover, then he runs down the floor, and he's able to make a play at the rim, draws the foul. He's a much better athlete than I think they thought he was going to be before he got here. He's impressed them in that area.
Let me ask you a question. Are you guys surprised that he hasn't gotten a post touch yet?
No, he's only been in for about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's with any team and with any young player, you're going to earn those touches in the post. You're going to earn your opportunities to play in the pick and roll if you're a guard. And so I think through the course of practice, he's going to earn that. So I think there will come a time this season where he will be put down on the block and they throw it to him consistently.
Karnowski missing the front end. Richard, Look at his stroke. You like his stroke at the free throw line? He looks like he's going to be a good one, right?
Great hands. He's got excellent feel. He just got mitts. You know, the ball comes off the rim. He gets his hand on a rebound. He's going to pull it in. And I think eventually he'll have a nice 10 to 15-foot jump shot as well.
One of the things I see from him as a big that he does a great job of is he keeps the ball high. When he gets offensive rebound, that play in transition where David dropped it back to him, he kept the ball high where it was not going to get affected.
A great point. I saw guys like Will Foster, Rob Sackley struggle with that throughout their career. He's already got that.
Obviously a lane violation called there on Zidzik, giving Karnowski another opportunity. And he makes good. Jones with the spin. Dranginas tried to poke it. Jones to the rim, knocked out of there by Karnowski. It's out of bounds, and it's Gonzaga basketball. Jones doesn't like the call.
Well, Jones is going to be a big player for Nazarene next year, Dan. You talked to the coaching staff. Transfer from UCLA. They have big expectations for him. You've seen him. He's been aggressive. He's gotten to the rim, just hasn't been able to finish. I think GU's size is bothering him.
Yeah, he played at UCLA. Didn't play a ton of minutes, but you're in a program like that, you know how to play, and you can play it at any level.
Dranginas, no shot. This is an offensive foul. And was this on Barham?
On lose on Karnowski. He's looking around, a little confused.
It is called on Karnowski. That's his first, team second.
Let's take a look at it here. Great drive from Kyle, and it looks like the officials
don't like the call.
Yeah, thought he was pushing off underneath, but that's the adjustment that you talked about, Dan. It's just a different game. It's called differently, different speed. He might struggle with fouls for the first half of the year until he gets acclimated.
You're allowed to hold space with an arm, right?
That was.
But I think one thing that Richard can speak to is the fact when
there's a block call on Mike Hart. He's a master. Only not there.
You know, going back to the point that we were talking about with Shemek is, you know, Richard can speak to the fact that when you're a big guy, do your work with your lower body. Create space with your hips, different things like that. If you start pushing up top, you're going to be an easy target for the refs to call fouls on you.
Jones missing the first. Last 8 possessions for the Crusaders. 0 for 5 from the floor. 3 turnovers.
Hasn't been a pretty ball game. Nazarene 2 of 9 at GU 3 of 10. I think some first game jitters.
Well, I like what I see from Northwest Nazarene right now. They're not backing down. They're trying to play their style. You know, hopefully Gonzaga can become a little bit more efficient on the offensive end here.
Dranginas from 3. Jones with a rebound. Down the middle, Donaldson used his right hand for some reason, and he missed the lay-in. Stockton with his right hand. And back comes Jones. Gentlemen, back in the old days,
this is one of those 8-minute stretches where you talk about the effort is great on both ends of the floor, but you don't really want to show the tape. Not a lot of highlights.
Here's Rima. That was way off in 3. Dranginas up to Hart. He'll try it. And he's lucky he didn't get hurt there. He came down on one leg, and that knee was in a precarious position. Foul called.
That shows you a little bit of the versatility of Kyle Dranginas there, though. He got the offensive or the defensive rebound, bust out dribble, and threw that thing ahead. He's got a great feel for the game. That's one of the reasons the coaches are so high on him, being a very big part of the team this year.
He's a guy you can run the offense through Kyle. There's no doubt about it. It just happens to be playing behind Pangos, and Stockton's been an excellent backup throughout his career, so he's not going to get a lot of minutes at that spot, but you can put him there in a pinch.
Well, he's a wing who can make point guard plays at times, so he definitely is going to be a bonus to this team as the season goes on.
The starting 5 back out on the floor for GU. Actually, Harris will be checking in here in a moment. Team fouls on Northwest Nazarene. Harris in, Hart out. Our score 10-5. Gonzaga with a 5-point lead. 12:34 to play in our first half.
It's not the third time you've seen this full court pressure off a made free throw from GU. If you can play 10 guys, you can do that sort of thing defensively.
There's Nichols. Got around Bell and then got caught in the air. Dower grabbed it away from him. Here's Harris with Eddie.
Good decision there by Harris. Starting to get in a funny position with him, bringing the ball down the floor in transition.
There's a nice post feed and finish. Guy Landry, Eddie, 12-5.
What's interesting is they've played with Guy at the 4 spot in practice at times, just to get a sense of what that look would be, both offensively, but more defensively. With him at the 4, you can really press and pick the tempo up defensively. Such a good athlete.
Jones driving. And there's a foul inside. By the way, that last bucket by Eddie, that was our first bucket by either team in over 4 minutes. We've got a timeout. 11:34 to play first half. Gonzaga 12. Northwest Nazarene 5. 11:34 to play first half. 12-5. Gonzaga with the lead on Northwest Nazarene. Let's talk about Gonzaga's defense, guys. Here's a bright spot.
Well, you like what you see so far defensively from a couple guys. David Stockton's really gotten after it, got his handles on some balls. Sam Dower's making an extra effort on the defensive end. But Mike Hart taking a charge. Those are the things you have to do consistently to be a great defensive team.
Yeah, I think part of it's Nazarene is nervous. They're not playing well offensively. And GU isn't either. But this has been great effort from GU and good rotations. And that's usually what comes first, is that defense comes first. That offense can take a while to gel.
The Crusaders 8 turnovers and 2 of 12 shooting thus far. And Sam Dower at the free throw line. Big Sam, now a junior on a Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, 6'9". The fact that the ball comes off of his left hand, how unique does that make him? How difficult, or how does it change a defender's way he would play a lefty?
I think it makes a world of difference, particularly for post players. You're so used to guys going over their left shoulder to the right-handed hook. No matter how often you try to drive it home as a coach, your instincts as a defender tell you the opposite. And I think it makes it more difficult. Plus, he's got just great touch, good feel, good moves. He's just a handful on a low block.
This is Nichols to the free throw line. Eddie chasing, and Nichols knocks it down.
It's a great offensive set there by Northwest Nazarene. They've run it a number of times now, but that's the first time they've executed for a bucket.
That was the first make by the Crusaders in 9 shots. Take another look at it.
See the screen. No show. No show right there. Sam is sagging off his man. It isn't showing. I guarantee the coaching staff will show him that clip. You need to be more aggressive. That's what Rob did so well.
True.
He showed you've got to give your guard a chance. I know if that was me and that was you, Dan, you get yelled at right now.
You would be getting
show
lit up right there.
And that's the end of the floor. Sam needs to make a jump this year. We know he can score. He's got to become a better defender on that end of the floor.
Well, one of the things you look at, though, is always good offense beats good defense every time down the floor. Well, that time, Northwest Nazarene really executed. Loop cut over the top, hit the wing. Hawkins came off a great ball cut, or ball screen. But you're right. Sam must be much better at that this year.
That's the 10th team foul for the Crusaders in the first 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Wallen missing. Rebound. Here's Hawkins. Oh. I wondered. Another turnover.
So right now the game's just a little too fast for Nazarene. They need to slow it down a bit. They're getting good shots when they've taken their time. The 2 or 3 possessions that have, they've been able to run through, but quick shot in transition, a rush shot off an offensive rebound. Take your time, get into your offense.
There's Bell. There's some good defense there. Jordan Nichols kind of fronting that entry pass. 16 seconds on the shot clock.
I tell you what, Nazarene is well coached, as Dan mentioned. A lot of effort. They have a lot of pride in this program. They're not as talented as they've been in a number of years, but still the effort's been there.
Here's Eddie inside. Missed it. Dower lost the grip. Knocked out of bounds. Possession to Gonzaga with 6 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, you look at what does Northwest Nazarene gain out of a game like this? Well, they got a great experience for their players and their program, but they also get a chance where if they improve the way they're showing they could this year, come playoff time at their level, they can say, well, we've played better teams.
Whoa! There's a deep three. Kevin Pangos. Not quite Dickow range, but close.
You know, that could be a very big shot for him this year. Shot clock running down. If he can create space, get to his jump shot, it's going to be big for him as well as Gonzaga to potentially have him become that go-to guy.
And that shot by Pangos ended a 1-for-10 shooting slump for GU. And there's the steal by Bell. He'll take it. Left it short. Pangos trailing with the rebound. Bell open three, corner. Well, there you have it. 2 possessions, 2 threes by Pangos and Bell. We're going to see a lot of that, aren't we?
Saw a lot of that last year. I got a feeling you're going to see that this year, the next couple for GU. But I'll tell you what, Gary Bell, to me, is one of the better two-way players they've had here in a few years. I mean, think about it. He's talented defensively. Last year, for a freshman to be asked to guard consistently the best player on the perimeter for the other team, and then now offensively, you see how his game is starting to evolve. He's a handful on both ends.
Yeah, you very rarely see a freshman come in at the college level being asked to guard the other team's best player. And you're right, exactly right. Gonzaga gave him that challenge last year, and he took it, and he proved that he could do it.
Good-looking basketball player. Gonzaga on an 8-0 run in the last minute 30. And they've opened it up to a 22-7 score. And Bell picking up a cheap one. That's his first. Team's 5th. Actually, team's 4th. Pangos as a defender.
I think he's underrated. You know, he's good on the ball. He doesn't get a lot of steals on the ball, but a lot like David, he's crafty as far as jumping the passing lanes as Jones takes a contested jump shot. We led him last year in steals per game at a little over 1, so I don't think he's a liability.
I won't ask you, Dan. You didn't know much about defense, do you? Pangos laying down the baseline. Just kidding, my friend.
You know, sometimes if you're not the greatest defender in the world, through athletic ability, you can make up for it by knowing the game, knowing your opponent's tendencies, and that's one thing that I think Kevin also really does a good job, understanding the game.
How about that lead by Bell to Harris?
Showing a little bit of his versatility. Get in the lane, create the defensive attention, drop it off to your big.
I think Gary's got a lot more to his offensive game than he showed last year. Dower gets a good block underneath.
Yeah, Zidzik in close. Bell again.
Great stretch of basketball right there by Gary Bell. He threw that ball ahead.
You know what I like about
Pangos threw it ahead to Gary, ready to shoot.
What I like about Gary Bell, he gets it done, scores all these points, and he wears pads. He's got shin pads. He's a tough customer.
He's ready to get after any moment. There's no doubt. He's a tough kid.
Gary Bell just flat out gets after it. 13 points in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds for Gonzaga. I think that's the kind of offensive play that Mark Few had in mind for this team this year.
Well, I think if you look when the starting group came back in, I think they realized what Coach Few wanted, them to be a little bit more efficient offensively, but get after it on the defense. Gotcha. Easy opportunities, which they've done.
Here's Harris with it. He'll drive with that left hand all the way to the rim. No travel, but finish. And we got 5 players up off the bench for GU. There's a turnover. Guy Landrietti in the open floor. Somehow saved it, then threw it away. He's athletic. 7:42 to play first half. Gonzaga with a 31-7 lead. And all Gary Bell the last couple of minutes. Here's the assist to Harris and the finish. And then Gary Bell shot nearly 50% from the arc a year ago. He's off to a hot start again. 31-7. And welcome back to the Kennel in the McCarthy Athletic Center on the campus of Gonzaga University. 31-7 our score. 5 new players on the floor. One player we will not see tonight is Kelly Olynyk. She's suspended through November 21. It's a team issue. It's a campus issue. End of story. Gentlemen, but the upside to this kid, again, a 7-footer with soft hands. Dad's a basketball coach. He's got an IQ. I mean, this is a possible NBA guy we're hoping gets back soon.
I agree with you. He's got that kind of talent. You know, I think his redshirt year, from talking to the coaching staff, is he took it very serious, got himself to become a better athlete, became more skilled, and I think he found a higher passion for the game as well.
And for whatever it's worth, Olynyk's one of the best guys that have played here.
Oh,
super kid.
Great kid. And I think he's got that upside. I do think he's a pro. He spent a great deal of time on his body, as you mentioned, but he's got a unique skill set that the other 3 bigs just don't bring. He can play outside. He can do a lot inside. He's a great passer. He and Karnowski in practice have been really good together, not to mention the fact they're both over 7 feet tall. That's a pretty big front line at this level or the next level.
Karnowski with the personal foul. That's his second. That's going to be something that you got to work, right? Anytime you put a 7-footer on the floor as a freshman, fouls are going to be an issue.
Yeah, and then you throw on top of the fact that he's adjusting to a completely different game here at the Division I level versus the Polish league he played in last year. There's going to be some growing pains. You saw it with guys like J.P. Batista coming out of JUCO.
Donaldson. Karnowski's there, and then he drew the travel. There's some defense by the big footer.
Well, he's got an understanding for the game. You know, it's just getting his physical and mental abilities up to speed for the college basketball game. So he's got the ability. It's just going to take him a little bit of time to do it consistently.
Here's Dranginis. Karnowski, left-hand hook. Hart with the rebound. Up strong. And he'll shoot free throws.
Mike Hart, again, right in the middle of things, but they saw a good screen, solid screen set by Karnowski. He rolls, not the quickest guy, but like you said earlier in the game, Dan, he keeps it up, and he's got that running left-handed hook, which he hasn't made much. He didn't make it in the craziest in the kennel. He missed that one, but in practice, that is money. And he's going to start knocking that down at game speed, and that's unblockable at any level.
7 foot, you keep that ball high. Very, very few guys are going to be able to get to contest that. But that last pick and roll right there, Greg, showed Kyle Dranginis' ability to come off a pick and roll and make a play. Hard show by Northwest Nazarene, delivered the pass to Big Shemek on the roll. So that shows you his ability to make plays.
Well, Gonzaga was 1 of 5 for their first 5 free throws. Since then, they're 9 of 9. There's Jones. Bounce pass. Zidzik blocked by Karnowski. Jones got it back, but he was standing on the end line. And you guys are talking about cerebral players. I mean, that's really the mark of this program. There's not been a great player at Gonzaga who wasn't a cerebral player, a great basketball IQ.
And Karnowski's right there with those players. You saw right there. You don't need to jump when you're that large. I mean, he's long, he's enormous.
That was Richard's story, and he's sticking to it.
But you don't, you know, just stand your ground. How many guys are going to make that over you anyway? And he's able to get his hand on the ball. Just a smart play. Didn't get the foul.
High dribble, and Jones poked it away from behind. Here's Jones. That wasn't a travel. Stockton with it. Barham lost the handle, out of bounds. And it's Crusaders basketball.
You got to catch it before you make your move. Right there, Barham already looking down the floor, trying to get it to Karnowski, who's running down the middle of the floor. But
you know, that's a turnover in transition, which you never want to see. But I do like that turnover early in the year because David's throwing the ball up ahead, getting guys to run the floor.
There's Karimsky. Jones is touching the ball a lot for Northwest Nazarene. That shot way off by Donaldson. Loose ball. Picked up by Jones. He lost the handle. Picked up by number 23, Michael Karimsky. And that one falls through. That's their first bucket in almost 12 minutes. Or second bucket in 12 minutes.
Good decision there by Barham to bring that ball out, give it to the point guard.
Karnowski backing down, left hand, left it short, tip back. Karnowski got it back and he scored.
Great move. Went over his right shoulder. Drew went middle, went back to that baseline side. He's going to make those shots more often than not. I think for him, he's nervous. A lot expected of him. You watch him in practice; those are in every time. Right there, you see, read the defense. No double comes. The baseline's open. Stays after it. Great play by Barnum to keep it alive. And again, you see him keep the ball up. That's something even Rob last year as a fifth-year senior really struggled with at times. And if you're a 7-footer, don't bring the ball down. Make yourself 5'10".
Molinan with the miss. Here's Stockton. Karnowski's feet. They look great to me. What do you guys see? It's important for your big guy to have good feet.
No, I completely
Does he have good feet? You can see the hands. That's obvious.
Great footwork. He needs to spend some more time just in the weight room and working on his body, getting a little quicker, more light-footed, but he's not a heavy kind of plodding footer. He's an athlete. It's just going to, he's 18, 19. I mean, come on now. He's going to grow into it.
I mean, we can talk about plotting 7-footers because we're sitting next to one here. But the thing is he's very light on his feet. Once he realizes just how big he is, puts a little bit more strength to him, he's going to be immovable down low.
Whoa, there's a dunk by Karnowski. The catch and finish. The big fella all the way from Poland, already a fan favorite.
Great play, David Stockton. Come off that pick and roll, reward the big.
That ball was kicked. You guys were here when Ronny Turioff showed up on campus, and you remember the way this place lit up.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if the campus reacts to Mr. Karnowski the same way. They're different players, I understand.
They're different.
You know, Ronny was a freshman my senior year, and I'm not kidding you, within the first month of the school year, I think he knew everybody on campus. It was unbelievable, his personality and how people gravitated towards him.
Jones' shot is off, out of bounds. Gonzaga basketball.
Back into the Bulldogs, Dower, Bell, Harris, and Ingram.
Harris will be inbounding. And we've got Bell, Dower, Guy Landrietti, Pangos, and Harris on the floor now for GU. Hey, I think Gonzaga should be extremely excited about the fact that they have these two great guards, and I'll call them great. I've seen most of the good ones here. And now you throw Karnowski into the mix, Richard Fox, along with what else is already here.
Oh, hey, I think this team's got a great chance, or rather has a chance to be a great team. A lot of talent. Their top six, those four bigs, Bell and Pangos, are as talented a top six, in my opinion, as this program's seen. It's that 7 through 10, that depth where you got to see how certain guys develop. Guy Landry, Mike Hart. You know, how does a guy like Dranginas come in? What kind of contribution can he make? But that top six is awfully good.
But then, is there a point where a team can get too deep and then you have a hard time finding good rotations?
Without a doubt, I think one of the things that's going to be key to this team is those 7 through 10 guys. Can they define their role? Will they accept their role?
There's a foul call. We'll take a timeout. 3:33 to play first half. Shemek Karnowski has arrived. The catch and the flush. 37-9 our score. Of course, Bing Crosby, one of the famous alumni here, along with Dick Allen Fox.
When's our statue coming up?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Come on now. I got to talk to Mike about
You guys don't have statues, but you might find a few bobbleheads around.
I think there's a picture deep in the corner in the locker room, maybe upgraded.
I'd like to see a bobblehead with Fox's head on it.
Well,
I don't know if it would support it.
I don't think it would.
That is a big.
Wow.
Hey,
Greg, all I'm going to say is I'm not the only guy here with a big dome.
Oh, no. I give it back, buddy. Give it back. Hey, when we were in commercial break,
Boy,
you stepped out there on the limb.
Well, you know me. It's hard for me to be.
You're a shock jock. Just say it.
No. I'm trying to do everything, but I look at Karnowski, and he hasn't. He's played well. I think there's going to be an adjustment. Period of time. It might even be half a season, but once he gets into league play, I think he'll really figure things out. But in my life, being around the game at a high level for 15 years, I've never seen a freshman 5 this far along in their progression. And he has a chance
at
to be
GU
really,
or anywhere.
Anywhere I've been, and I've played against a lot of guys too. I'm sure there's a guy out there. If we really racked our brain, but he is talented. He's a special talent.
Okay, Richard Fox is on record. Guy Landrietti. Donaldson with the rebound. Dan?
It's a great job making him commit there, Greg. He really didn't want to, but, I agree. I'm not going to go so far as say I haven't seen a big that good, but...
No, as a freshman, though.
As a freshman, I agree.
Think about it,
he has a ton of potential. I will put it at that. And I know as long as he puts in the work, it'll be interesting to see how he improves.
Harris, nice finish. And, of course, Richard, you're talking about people you've seen in person or that you've played with,
or
practiced with.
Yeah, and being around them a lot, at practice, playing against them in a game.
You're not talking about anywhere. I mean, Anthony Davis was
yeah. But he's more of a 4. He's going to play the 4 at the next level. This kid's a 5 since birth. He's going to be playing the 5 in the league. I mean, there's never been a question about his position. He's never going to play out of position.
There was never a question with you either.
No, not at all.
No. I think they shut me down day 1 when I said, hey, can I be the 3?
No, you were like, hey, coach, I can really dribble it.
Yes. Some nasty handles for a 7-footer now.
That last foul on Sam Dower, his first team 6th. And this has put Jonathan Hawkins, a senior from Phoenix, Arizona, at the free throw line. Out of the game goes number 15, Shane Perryman. And he was replaced by Ivan Zidzik out of Slovakia.
Coach Daniels got quite a few European players to come to Nampa, Idaho.
Boy, I tell you what, just from 10 years ago, how international the game has become. We saw it at the NBA level, but now college is just inundated in a good way with these European players.
He's got 3 from Europe, 4 if you consider Fairbanks, Alaska international. There's a nice finish.
Well, the European game is definitely taught much different over there than it is at the youth level here in America. I think that can translate for guys to have success much earlier in their careers.
Kenny Jones hits. He's taken, I believe, 12 of their 26 shots. There's Pangos hanging. Doesn't get the bounce.
He didn't knock that shot down, but that is a great shot for me, for Kevin Pangos to take. That's going to take a lot of pressure, put a lot of pressure on the defense if he can knock that down.
Donaldson. Here's Harris. Dower defended nicely. Zidzik in there to knock it away. I like Zidzik. 6'10", 210 out of Slovakia. Looks pretty active. There's a shot by Jones that's off. Rebounded by Nichols. And Nazarene is on a 6-2 run.
Well, they finally slowed down. They're running some offense. They're a lot more comfortable out there. They missed a tough runner, Sam, with a nice challenge.
Jones stops Bell. Harris around Zidzik, and he's bumped.
That move right there from Elias is going to be a big indicator this year of whether or not he can play the 3 at times this year, which I think is a thought for the Gonzaga coaching staff, is the fact that if he can catch the ball at the top, face up his man, 1 dribble and get into something. Right there, he drew a foul. Good play, but maybe not as efficient as if he can get 1 dribble into a clean look, knock it down, or 1 dribble, suck the defense in, create a play for another guy. So it'll be interesting to see how efficient he can be at that this year.
Well, it reminds me of junior year, we had Gord, Violet, Turioff, and myself. And the 4 of us are probably in the top 7 as far as the rotation. And so they had to find a way to get 3 of us for a while on the floor. So they experimented with Roney at the 3. Elias is is more capable of playing that position than Roney ever was, but they're definitely going to look at that at times.
That shot may have been nicked by Harris. Pangos runs down the rebound, then has it knocked away by Molinan from behind, but possession staying with GU with 33.3 seconds to play first half. Has Mark Few seen what he wanted to see out of his team here in the first 20?
I think after those first 8 minutes of the game, I think he definitely has. I think he wants to see consistent effort from here on out the rest of the night.
I think when you're playing a team like Nazarene that you're going to beat, it's about the little things, detail, execution, rotation defensively. That's what they're looking for.
Tough pass from Bell to Dower. Donaldson at the other end called for the charge. And Pangos got back defensively. He's gotten quite good at that, too.
Willingness to step in front, take a charge. Anytime your point guard is willing to step in front of a guy coming at you full speed, makes the other guys on your team willing to take those charges as well.
You'd like to see him grow that do out a little bit, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, he's got to get a haircut, or he's got to let it grow.
Let it go.
He's got to let it grow.
You got to see it flapping.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, we're just trying to set trends here, Foxy. There's Dower inside with a chance for 3. Foul called on Ivan Zidzik. I just like saying Zidzik.
It's good. It's good.
Well, say it, Richard. I mean,
I struggle with those names. Zidzik.
Check that. There's no basket here. They called the foul on the pass. Chauncey Jones, the world-class producer, keeping me straight. Pangos with the roll. 2.8 seconds to play here first half.
That was great recognition of the clock by Kevin there, though. Push it. Obviously, the clock's going down. Create something. Got himself to the free throw line. He's going to have to do that consistently this year.
He hits them both. And Jones will undoubtedly shoot it. And he's off. We're at halftime. Gonzaga leading at 45-15. But I think for Mark Few and his coaching staff, the score really means nothing. I mean, they're going to look at this differently, right, than someone sitting at home.
Well, what they're going to look at is offensive efficiency. Were guys in the spots they needed to be, setting screens, swinging the ball on time. Defensively, were they in their right position? Were they denying the wings? Were they fronting the post? Were they hedging on ball screens? Different things like that.
I don't know about you guys, but it's just good to have them back. Winter is almost here, and so is Gonzaga basketball. We're at the half. Stay with us. There's the city of Spokane. The bright lights.
Gonzaga comes out with 3 guards. Starts the second half. David Stockton came in.
Stockton, Pangos, and Bell. Small lineup. Guy Landrietti at the 4 and Dower at the 5. There's the miss by Karimsky. Eddie with the finish. What do you think? What do you think of this lineup, guys?
Well, I think Harris would be on the floor rather than Guy if this is how you wanted to start any half or a situation. I'm assuming that Harris is, they're probably going to shut him down for the night. I know he's been a little banged up in practice. But I don't mind the 3 guards in the lineup. All 3 guys can play with the ball or play off the ball.
Stockton with the pick. There's Bell, open 3.
That's exactly why you're going to see them play this lineup at times this year. Teams are going to try to speed them up to play fast. Gonzaga can put 3 guards in that can handle, pass, and shoot. And right there, David Stockton brings the ball down the floor, finds Gary Bell.
Well, Gonzaga picking up here where they left off in that first half. Bell, the connection from the corner, 50-15. I won't say it.
We're not allowed to say?
Well, right before we read it, I'll let you pop the bubble.
All right.
Crusaders now just working on some sets here, huh?
Oh, they want to slow it down to limit some of the possessions if they can.
But, I mean, they came here to work on some things, too. They want to be better when they leave here than when they came as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. You're not coming here just to be a punching bag. You want to get something out of the game, there's no doubt. You're not here just to get a paycheck.
I just wasn't sure you were awake, Richard, so I was just throwing you one over there.
I don't think Division II teams get paychecks. Last I checked, Richard. So
No, that's on the team.
they're getting their books, I guess.
No, the team, you get paid to be here, don't you?
Oh, I get it. I know
the
what
team?
you're saying now. Okay.
Pay-to-play game.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
The pay game.
That last foul called on Dower, his second, team's first. See what happens when you fall asleep, Richard? Okay, you so weren't falling asleep. I'm just starting trouble. I know.
Start making misleading statements.
I do that all the time. Another foul called here. Dower picks up another.
If there's one possible downfall to the four Gonzaga bigs is outside of Elias, they might not be great rebounders. That was one of Rob Sacre's big problems last year is he couldn't rebound outside of his area. Elias can do it at times. Can these other three bigs, Sam Dower, Karnowski, and Kelly Olynyk when he's back, can they rebound outside of their area?
Yeah, I think that's a good point, but I do think Rob was such a presence as Bell misses that three off the pass from Stockton, but you know, Rob took up so much space and occupied sometimes two defenders. I think that really freed up guys like Elias. But you look at the rebounds per minute, and Rob was about 4.2 a minute. Sam in his minutes was almost 5 minutes per rebound. He's just not a good rebounder. He's got to get better in that area.
That was a nice finish. Great feed.
A heck of a pass by David Stockton. Saw the big defender fronting, just threw it up over the top. Great steal there by Sam Dower.
To your point, Richard, Sacre averaged just over 6 rebounds a game last year. Harris led the team with like 8.5.
8.5 to get an excellent job. And you know, Rob was not a good rebounder by the numbers, but I think his presence around the basket was a lot bigger than those numbers indicate, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he held people from getting the ball, so his teammate could get it, in essence.
In a way that, you know, that's as good as it's like setting a great screen.
Yeah.
And getting the guy open, you don't get credit in the box score, but it has an impact on the game.
Eddie off on the 3 attempt. I'm not being facetious. I mean, he literally kept people from getting to anywhere at times. He was awesome at that.
You had to send two guys to box him out quite a bit.
Stockton will shoot free throws. Now look, the guy's in the NBA. He didn't get there averaging 13 points and 6 rebounds. He got there because of his physicality.
Yeah, I mean, look, Rob's a great locker room guy. He's a hard worker, and he's at the perfect situation, right? He's got Pau Gasol, Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash passing him the ball. Those guys are going to draw a little more attention. So make a 10, 12-foot jump shot, attack the offensive glass, and he makes his free throws, and he got fouled at an incredibly high clip for a big. And he makes his free throws. That's a big asset for your backup big.
But what he did great here is what Coach Few used to say is that he's the best he ever had at sealing a defender.
Sure, oh yeah.
You seal the defender, opens the lane for Kobe Bryant.
He did a great job
True.
of getting his work done before the ball ever got there.
It will, you know, and the thing, you put him on that Lakers squad with a guy like Steve Nash. Steve Nash is such a good point guard. He's going to be able to talk him through situations on the fly. So he's going to really help Rob make the most of his opportunities right now. Steve Nash makes everybody a better player. So I think you're probably going to see that throughout the course of the season with him.
Big Rob Sacre in the NBA. There's a drive blocked by Dower, but he picked up the personal foul. Jordan Nichols right down the lane. Dower must have gotten him with the body because I thought that was all ball. But, you know, my eyes haven't always been the best.
Let's take a look here. And that's a foul.
Well, as a big, if you've got a guard coming at you, you got to get your feet moving. I mean, you can either move your feet, try to stay in front, or watch a guy go by and try to block a shot. That time, you just watched him go by, tried to block a shot. Very few guys can catch it from behind.
And I like the activity level, right?
Sure.
He's trying to make the play. Last year, that's a layup.
Well, he had a second effort. He got beat on the first effort and tried to make an effort on the second. If you make a better first effort, you don't have to get to your second effort.
Dower picked up his 4th personal foul, so he's replaced by Shemek Karnowski. There's Jones. That shot was blocked by Pangos.
He's definitely not being shy tonight.
Here's Bell into the lane, kick out. There's a finish. Karnowski, great look from Stockton.
Ball swung. David is probably the best post-entry passer this ball club has, right on the money. And like you mentioned in the first half, Shemick just keeps it up. It's an easy layup. If you bring it down, you complicate things. He always keeps it up.
There's Nichols. Give it to Jones. There's 8 on the shot clock. Jones driving on Stockton. And jump ball called. Possession arrow favors GU.
I'll tell you what, Jones cannot get it going. 2 of 15. And that turnover, see right there over the top. Easy layup inside for Karnowski, and the Bulldogs have it rolling 56-21.
There's David Stockton. A walk-on out of Gonzaga Prep here in Spokane. And he's been able to carve out a career for himself here as well, as some other walk-ons have done over the years.
He's earned every minute.
He understands the game. I wonder if he got any of that from his dad. I would guess he did, but understands the game. He's a competitor, and that's what Coach Few loves. Guys who can compete and know the game.
He got it through genetics and osmosis.
Yeah, I wonder where he got his feel for the game.
Shots off. Here's Jones. He's taken a lot of shots, but he hasn't even worked up a sweat yet. Do you notice that?
Hey,
there's Jordan Nichols.
Jones gives it up, and they get a bucket.
Jones working hard, though.
Yeah, he's going to be a nice player at their level. And people forget that's a really good conference with Western Washington. They just won the Division II championship last year. You see right there, Jones trying to make the extra effort. Frustrated young man, but you can see his athletic ability is going to be a real problem in that league for other teams.
Here's Pangos. Mike Hart.
Great decision on the pick and roll there by Kevin Pangos. Slightly pull that big defender hedging on the pick and roll out a little bit more to create more space for Mike Hart's jump shot.
I'll tell you what, lots of pick and roll action in this offense.
Well, that's the name of the game.
Starts or ends in that action more often than not, and that's tough to guard, particularly if you set a good screen. And when you got David, Gary, Kevin with the ball, those guys make good decisions.
There's a good finish. Nichols with a couple of consecutive buckets on attempts. Dranginis at the other end, a quick three.
You know, he's shown the ability to knock that shot down in practice, so I don't think Coach Few is going to have a problem with him letting that team go.
Nichols with 7 straight for the Crusaders.
Nichols is getting comfortable. Last year, actually, lead returning rebounder for the ball club at 4.3 at only 6'3", so he's a good athlete, plays hard. And right there, Karnowski just caught it flat-footed and never got his legs into it.
Kind of rushed it, huh?
Yeah, just...
A little runner high off the glass by Connor White is no good. Connor out of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, just down the road. Pangos. They're trying to go inside, aren't they? And a foul called here on number 23, Michael Karimski.
It's looking like they're really trying to focus in on trying to get the ball back down low to Shemick there for round one. Doing a good job trying to steal, but the guards, you've got to get a better angle to be able to get that ball into the post.
Well, you mentioned earlier in the game, Dan, he's posting up a lot with his arms. And that's something that they'll show him is, hey, get your body into the defender. You're much more difficult to move that way. Right now, he's using his upper body way too much.
Mike Hart go cutting Stockton. Karnowski the rebound. He missed it. Back comes number 42, Jonathan Hawkins. Hawkins got caught. Donaldson ran it down. Karnowski with the block, but a foul called on Stockton, I believe. Shemick with some quickness there. We should point out, Karnowski, his first his full first name is Shemek Shwa. Shemek Shwa.
Say that 3 times fast.
Karnowski.
Well, I'm glad we just say Shemek.
Yeah, Shemek Shwa. Again, I just like saying it.
Well, I got a feeling he's going to play well enough where you're going to have to say it a lot.
A lot. And how rare are guys who want to play with their back to the basket anymore? It's a dying breed in this game.
Yeah.
And then to find one who can really do it?
Yeah, who's talented enough, and G is lucky to have 2 of them, in Dower and Karnowski. Just that pass too low from Kevin, trying to get it over the top.
Stockton took it away, and he rolls it in.
What a great play by David Stockton there. Don't give up on the play. Defensive transition, comes up with a steal. Defense never stops him. Take that thing all the way to the basket yourself.
Like Hart was knocked to the floor, no whistle. Stockton clears the rebound off the rim, a miss. Leaves it for Pangos. Right to the rim, left hand, got the roll. That was pretty.
A big-time pass and a big-time finish. Your 2 point guards connecting.
And Kevin Rima is down on the floor at the other end for Nazarene. Kevin, the junior out of Fairbanks, Alaska, 6'6", 210. He's dragging his left arm, maybe a shoulder. If he grew up in Fairbanks, he grew up playing hockey. We got a good chance of seeing him again.
I'll be interested to see how often GU goes with the 4-guard lineup. You know, with the size they have, but it works for them.
It works.
You can go either way. I mean, obviously matchups and who you're playing is going to dictate, but it's hard to only have one of your bigs out there on the floor when you have that, that kind of talent.
I agree with that. They've got the strength of 4 really good bigs, but the problem is a lot of times teams are going to try to flip that on them and go small, and so they're going to have to be prepared to go back and play small. And so I think they'll be able to play both ways.
Hart tried to get it to Karnowski, and a foul called inside.
It's not throwing the ball high enough.
With Family Home Care, you always get the home court advantage you deserve. Live happy with FHC. There's your home court advantage. Since 04-05, the Zags are 104-7 in the McCarthy Athletic Center.
Big Shemek doing a little bit of everything. The ref lost his whistle, went over and picked it up, handed it back to the ref. He knows how to get some foul calls in the States.
He is a nice kid. I've talked to him a lot. He's super mellow and friendly. I think this community is really going to love him. Barham. Already earned his undergrad degree, so he was able to come to Gonzaga from the University of Memphis and not have to sit out. He's got 2 years of eligibility left.
I learned something interesting today. You know why he's picked number 43? So every time he makes a 3, his teammates can say 4-3.
Wow.
Oh, playing words.
That's a heck of a research. I like it.
I never got to pick my number, but
No, he was always 50, 55 with the biggest jersey with the biggest
98.
I remember I transferred here and I wanted a number 2, and Huey said no. So I took 34, and then Roney that year had number 2, so I could already tell who his favorite was.
Oh. Stockton and Hart cleans it up.
Well, when you're able to get a transfer like Drew Barham coming to the program, it's such a bonus because he's coming from a high-level program where he's played against great athletes every single day in the competitive conference like Conference USA in big games.
And in practice.
Exactly. So he's able to come back here and be in a tough environment and be able to succeed.
Stockton on the move. Watch this little pretty pass behind the back. The Pangos with a strong finish with the left hand. All Gonzaga. There's downtown Spokane. Busy town tonight. There's Mr. Stockton.
I think you might have something to say to David after missing that last layup on that last possession.
Use the glass. That's what he's probably going to tell him.
Is David our Subway sub of the game? We'll find out a little bit later. But he certainly played well. Left hand off the glass. No good, but a foul called. And did they get Dower here? Sam Dower just fouled out.
Yeah, 5 fouls there.
So we're going to get Shemek Karnowski back into the game.
Sam with only 2 field goals attempted. That's not enough. You've got to find him there around the rim. Played 13 minutes there in the first half, just 3 or 4 here in the second half.
Well, he's frustrated.
I think if there's one potential knock on Sam is that sometimes he disappears at times. You know, he's got the opportunity and the ability to score in bunches, but he's got to become a much, much more consistent scorer.
Molinan shot is short. And he runs it down, beat Dranginas to it. Tried to leave it. Tough pass. Somehow he ended up with it again. Donaldson bumped by Karnowski, no foul. Zidzik calling for it inside. He wants to work on the big pole.
This is a great defensive possession here by Gonzaga.
There's a miss.
Great from defensive possession as far as rotating defensively, showing on the pick and roll, help side be in the right position, then finish it out with a rebound.
Barham to the post. Karnowski missed an easy one. He's going to start getting frustrated. He knows these shots have to go in.
He is frustrated now. 3 of 9 from the field with 4 rebounds, 7 points. Missed a lot of bunnies inside, and I know you're not concerned, Dan. We've seen him in practice, but it's going to take a while. Sometimes it just takes a moment, a stretch in a game, to get that confidence in game conditions.
Molinan running the floor, but can't finish it. Karnowski with another rebound. Back comes Stockton. Dranginas, left hand, good.
Well, I tell you what, he's smooth. He can go either way with the dribble. A solid shooter. Obviously, he's got some size to him. You know, not the biggest kid, but he's tall and long. I think he could find a strong role on this team.
Without a doubt, I agree. Ability to stretch the defense with his three-point shooting ability and the fact that he can put the ball on the floor and make plays like he did on that last possession.
He's got a good feel, can pass the ball.
Travel called there. It's Gonzaga basketball. Eddie down on the baseline to inbound it. Barham, Karnowski, Dranginas, Eddie, and Pengos on the floor for GU. Karnowski. That one goes in.
You know what I like about that possession is you can see it in his eyes right there. He had a little bit more aggression going to get the ball and then attacking the basket when he had possession.
Yeah, he works throughout a possession. You mentioned it earlier. Sometimes Sam will just wait on a block and wait for the ball to come to him. You know, Shemek will work throughout a possession, block to block, nice post entry. And Shemek, allows the defender to come to his high side, makes his left hand available, and he's got such soft touch around the rim. The defender got a hand on the ball, but he's still able to finish through with that touch and that strength.
Dranginas, chance for 3. You know what I'm seeing out of Karnowski? The ability just to go to the post and get an easy bucket. The offense isn't in rhythm. Haven't had that really since JP, if I can remember right.
I would agree with that.
Just be able to throw it in there and let a guy score.
I think at times teams will double Rob just because of his size and strength. He'd bury guys, but you're right. I mean, he can go to work. He's a lot like Sam in that way, and they're both left-handed. I mean, how often do you see that?
Yeah.
2 guys on the same team that can score with the left hand. And he's got a chance to be good. We talked about it quite a bit tonight. I think it'll be scary to see how good he is once league rolls around. The league is smaller than what he'll play against in the non-conference for the most part, and he'll be so much more comfortable playing here within the program. He's got a chance to do some things.
Well, I think they're going to be, the Gonzaga staff is going to be patient with him as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned at the top, he doesn't have to be the guy now. In fact, he doesn't have to be the guy at all this year. We haven't talked about Kelly much because he's not playing tonight, but he's going to have a huge season. He has really put in the effort, and he's, if not the best guy in practice, he's been one of the better guys in practice to start the year.
Thank you, Richard Fox. Coming to my side.
No, he has, but he's put together a tremendous redshirt year. The coaching staff will tell you, of all the guys they've had come through the program that have redshirted, he has made them as much out of it as anybody else. And I think once he's on the floor and gets used to the Division I speed again, you know how it is. It takes some time after a redshirt year to get comfortable again with the speed of the game. Once he gets there, I think he could have a tremendous season.
I think he's a different player.
He is. Physically, he's the same height as he was, but he looks bigger now. When you play against him, he feels like a post player. Before, as a freshman, sophomore, he never was imposing physically, but now he's put on weight, he's stronger, and he likes to use some of that size now.
And he's got ab muscles.
That's something
I saw him pull his
heard.
shirt up at practice. There's ab muscles in there.
I've never heard somebody say he feels like a post player. That's a new way to describe
Well, you know,
it.
when I played against him here over the summer, and I remember playing against him as a freshman, sophomore, and it was kind of, you could move him wherever you wanted to on the floor. You didn't really worry about him unless he caught the ball on the perimeter. But this summer, I mean, he put his body into you, and you had to honor that. He definitely a lot stronger than he was.
I've seen attitude in him. I like that. Karnowski.
That is great
Pass out,
on the block.
so he scores.
Great patience on the block.
And we haven't seen it, but he's a tremendous passer. That's probably his best area right now. He loves to feed the ball out of the post, from the high post. He hasn't had to do that tonight, but good move.
Shemek with 11 points. Jones into the paint, falling away. Long, Barham with the rebound. Back comes GU. Eddie working hard inside. Skip to Pangos in the corner. Back to Dranginis, left hand. Oh, I like that kick cutting to the rim. Karnowski, another offensive rebound and putback. Shemek Karnowski now with 13 points, 7 rebounds, and a couple of blocks. Hello. Welcome to Spokane, Shemek. 7:28 to play. It's all Gonzaga in Spokane. Time down to the answer to tonight's Arby's trivia question. Which current Zag was named WCC Player of the Week 3 times last season? It was Kevin Pangos. Honored in November, December, and February. Try Arby's new Ultimate Angus Philly today. Angus beef the way it was meant to be. Slow roasted, freshly sliced, and topped with classic Philly ingredients. Arby's, it's good mood food. Gonzaga on a 13-0 run. I don't know what it is, but the fans just seem to be getting younger and younger to me. What does that mean?
I don't think it's their age that's changing.
I think that's the problem, isn't it?
I don't know where I was the other day. So I had to tell someone my age, and I said 31, and I couldn't believe it. I just, to say it out. I mean, I know that Greg wishes he was 31 and would tell me, hey, that's young, but I felt like I was 24 just yesterday.
Yeah, but I mean, 33 is not so bad. Here's Eddie and the finish. Eddie into double figures. 5 Zags in this game. Jones inside.
Eddie's done a nice job tonight. That's a question I had with him, was how would he find a way to score? Last year was kind of opportunistic. And this year, he's done a nice job, tonight rather, moving without the ball in transition, offensive rebounds, and that's how he's going to score.
Well, a lot of times junior college transfers, it takes them that second year. They're going to understand their role in the system that much better, and I think that's what you're going to see from him this year.
That was a nice shot by number 3, Connor White. Coeur d'Alene boy.
Got a big smile on his face.
I'm sure he's got family here for this one.
Yeah.
A 3 from the wing. I see some high fives over there, I'm sure. Their family. Here's one that got away from Big Karnowski. miss.
Great throw ahead there by David Stockton. Unselfish by Drew.
Karnowski running the floor. And he's got 2 more.
14th assist for GU.
7-1-3-05, and I see nothing hanging over the belt. Jones with a bucket, his 19th field goal attempt.
That's a lot of shots.
You know, if you're a scorer, if you're a shooter, you got to keep putting it up. You know, and talking to Coach Daniels before the game, he's really high on Jones. Was going to give him a lot of freedom, not only in tonight's game, but throughout the season, because he thinks he's going to be a key player for them throughout their season.
Yeah, and last year he was a walk-on at UCLA, so I believe only played 8 games last year, so he needs to play. And they need him to be confident and to understand that, hey, you need to be aggressive with your shot, because quite frankly, he's the only guy they have that can create his own shot. So while he struggled tonight 4 of 19, that's not necessarily a bad thing, like you said, Dan. That might be just driving home the point with him. He hasn't been pulled or yanked because of a bad shot tonight.
No, but a lot of times what you can take from it is, okay, was this a good shot? Could I have made this shot an easier shot? And that's some things that I'm sure that staff is going to take a look at. You know, he'll have to take a look and say, hey, if I give up my first one, am I going to get a better one down in the possession? And a lot of times that's true.
Karnowski now with 17 points. And 17, of course, leads all scoring. And Karnowski's going to go out of the game. Well, that's quite a debut, even though it's an exhibition game.
Yeah, and against a small team and Nazarene, yeah, there's still a lot of basketball to be played, and he's going to have some serious struggles this year. Every freshman does, particularly bigs. I feel like there's more of a transition there for a big guy, but you definitely see the potential on the upside.
He was replaced by number 15, Rem Bakamis.
We talk about a transition. For bigs, it's always slower because they don't have the ball in their hands as much as guards, so they don't have a chance to get comfortable.
And also being a big is a much more difficult position, right?
Yeah, I don't believe that one for a second.
Barham and Hart both crashing the board there.
I don't know if I've ever had a big tell me exactly where I need to be on the floor as well as the other 4 guys. Now, point guard, you got to know where all 5 guys are as well as the defense and what to run and in what situations.
So what are you saying, that you're smarter than Richard?
Yeah, what's up with that?
I'm not necessarily saying it. I'm just kind of letting people come to their own conclusion. It's great to be back with you guys.
Yeah.
So glad you're here, Dan. So glad.
Oh, boy. Oh.
It's going to be a fun season. Good team.
Dranginas, Bakamis turned down the shot to the dismay of this crowd.
It's what you have to learn as a young redshirt walk-on.
Shoot it.
Get that opportunity, let that thing go.
That shot's long by Nichols. Under 4 minutes to play. Fake the 3, Nichols, mid-range.
He's put together a nice ball game. Really, the only guy's been able to get it going. 16 points on 7 of 11 shooting. And he's done a nice job of taking care of the ball here in the second half.
You know, if you look at that possession defensively from Gonzaga, it really wasn't a bad possession. One of the things that's hurt them in the past few years is opponents' three-point percentage. One of the things that Gonzaga wants to do this year is run teams off the three-point line and make them shoot 2s.
Ball knocked out of the hands of Bakamis, goes out of bounds. 3:19 to play. Gonzaga up big on Northwest Nazarene. We'll finish it up when we come back. Tonight's sub is Shemek Shua Karnowski. 17 points on 7 of 14 shooting and 8 rebounds. And he missed quite a few bunnies. He could have easily been up around 25.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I think the first half in particular, only 7 points. He missed a lot of bunnies inside. You saw in the second half, I think he just calmed down. He settled down, was patient, really did a nice job reading the defense. And obviously he's got a big size advantage, but you saw the skill set and the ability. He's going to have a tremendous freshman year.
That shot was blocked by Dranginas. Loose ball picked up by Jones. His 20th attempt is short. And Barham with the rebound, and he's out of there with it. Let's slow it down.
This crowd's calling for Rem Bakamis to get a look. His last 2.5 minutes. Let's see if they get one for him.
Barham step back is short. Loose ball out of bounds. Should be GU's. It is. 35, brand new clock. And 2:37 to play.
I don't think that was Drew Barham's strength as a player right there, screening his own shot. I don't think Coach Pugh was too happy about that one.
Foul called here. Of course, the program lost Modest Murninghoff from a year ago as well, along with Marquise Carter, who left with graduation. Barham kind of filling the role of Murninghoff.
Well, that sharpshooter off the bench, although it never really developed for Murninghoff for a variety of reasons. He just never consistently was able to do that after his first 8 or 10 games as a freshman, where he was very, very good. But Barnhart, like you talked about, Dan, he didn't play very much, probably at all at Memphis, but the level of competition and practice was such where he got better. And I think coming here and finding some time on the court, which is a real possibility, he's going to be comfortable. That transition from that transferring situation is going to be a little easy for him than it might be for most kids.
There's very few programs in the country that have the athletic ability of Memphis.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's seen the athletic ability. And so this is a program that I'm sure he's going to fit into much more quickly than a program like Memphis that places more emphasis on athletic ability.
Stockton with the rebound. Bakamis for three. Hart with the rebound.
Get him another
Back
look.
to Stockton.
Get him another look.
Oh, Jones.
That's just a frustration foul from Jones. Now 4 of 22. Feels like he's getting fouled. Rather thought he got fouled on that last possession where he had a couple offensive rebounds, and that's just a frustration foul.
This would be a great teaching point for Coach Daniels with Northwest Nazarene, as the night hasn't gone necessarily the way he would have wanted, being quote-unquote their go-to guy. But you got to be able to work through frustration and stick with the program and stick with your game, and things will turn out well.
Stockton hits the front end. And I guess we're going to announce our player of the game right now. And it is Guy Landrietti, 10 points, 5 of 8 shooting, 8 rebounds. He was a consistent player from the beginning. I guess that's the call. Could have gone with many guys, but why not Guy Landrietti?
I think he did exactly what you want to see him do throughout the course of the year. Score in transition, score off rebounding, make an occasional good cut, make yourself available to the ball, and play good defensive rebounding. He did that.
Bring energy, right?
Yep.
First and foremost, bring energy to the game. There's a loose ball. Branginas will shoot free throws. Foul called here on Jonathan Hawkins. Minute 23 to play.
Yeah, I don't think we've talked enough about Kyle. I mean, Shimmick's been so good tonight, but Branginas has put together a nice, not only 5 points on 2 of 6 shooting, but you can see his feel. And as he gets comfortable, you have to remember he's redshirting, he's a freshman, but this kid had a lot of success at the high school level. I mean, 2-time player of the year, Gatorade player of the year, averaged 24, 5, and 2, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals in high school. He's a good player. As he gets comfortable with the speed of the game, he's stronger than he was a year ago. He was not ready last year, but I think this year you could get some good minutes from him off the bench.
1 of 2. Hart knocks it out. Here's Branginas for 3.
Right on cue.
Hawkins working hard. Offensive foul. Mike Hart in there taking another charge.
I'd love to see that again. Like Mike was pretty.
Time now for tonight's play of the game, brought to you by Supercuts. Get in, get confident. Visit one of 15 local Supercut salons today. Supercuts, Gonzaga's #1 hair salon. It's that little pass from Stockton to Pangos.
Oh, brush screen too. Giving the ball up from David.
That was great. Create attention as the ball handler. Open a lane for Kevin Pangos. Takes it in. Scores under pressure.
Well, Rem Bakamus is going to get his chance at the free throw line. Rem out of Longview, Washington. This place will go nuts. First one's a little long. Look good, though. He's nervous right now, though, isn't he?
These
fans want this.
Unfortunately, I've been at practice a few times, and he's looked nervous at practice. So
There we go.
good job. Way to step up and knock it down.
That shot is short. Rebound finish by Nichols. He's got 2 more. Nice game by him.
8 of 12 from the field. He's competed on both ends. 3 rebounds, 18 points. Really the one bright spot offensively for Nazarene.
Shot clock is off, so that's going to wrap this one up. Guys, the next one counts.
It does.
They're ready. They look ready.
I think there's a lot of great things to take out of tonight's game. Obviously, there are going to be some things to work on, but overall, I'd be very happy with tonight's game.
The head coaches will meet at midcourt, exchange pleasantries, as they say. And so now Gonzaga works on what this week at practice? What did they see tonight that they didn't like? I'll put you 2 on the spot.
I'd start with the rebounding, quite frankly. He gave him 16 offensive rebounds to an undersized Northwest Nazarene, and that's an issue that we didn't get into much during the game, but that protecting the glass, particularly the defensive glass, to me is a concern with Rob being gone and his presence on the glass. Maybe not in numbers, but just his physical presence. And I also think just small things, details, execution. They're going to get a lot more out of this exhibition type of scenario when they play Texas in that close scrimmage next week.
And what did we learn about Shemek?
I think what you learn from Shemek is he's a good player now. He's got a chance to be very good, and they're going to use him a lot this year.
Ladies and gentlemen, the season, let it begin. For Richard Fox, Dan Dickow, I'm Greg Heister. Good night from Spokane. The Zags win it 93-45. Have a great Sunday, everyone.